What's the most ridiculous thing you've heard someone say that they were 100% serious about? My brother, against all laws of known physics, is absolutely certain that if he was ever in a tsunami he could just swim under it. We've both been in the ocean plenty of times, surfed a bit, and have definitely had our share of waves wreck our shit, but he's still certain he could do it if he got the timing right. I hope he can hold his breath a really long time. And deal with rubble and random debris impaling you in the water. As well as the weight of the fucking ocean hitting you as you go under. The Caribbean coast is off the coast of England because they have British accents in Pirates of the Caribbean. This man was in the military and had no knowledge of geography. Man, the Death Star must have been built in England too. Ewoks are native to England. Well, mate, if British accents are the determining factor, then I guess Australia must really be next to Hogwarts. A guy was hitting on me at a bar once when I was single in my 20s, and he told me he's really good in bed and loves sucking on a woman's clit. A clit. I immediately walked away. God help him. Did he also think penises go in Virginias? To be fair, I'm pretty sure there are at least several penises in Virginia. The clip is really salty from holding the bag of potato chips closed. That's why he likes sucking on the clip. My coworker. We were all having a conversation. I don't remember what we were talking about, but I said something to the extent of crazy, it's like someone thinking the earth is flat. His response was, well, it is. My other coworker and I looked at each other confused. Flat Earth coworker continues explaining why the earth is flat. He was saying it like he was stating facts. We're engineers, for crying out loud. You paid too much money for your glasses, and agree to see things this way. One of my good friends I had once respected went down this route. He effectively said because he hadn't seen the earth from space he doesn't believe it's round. He believes nothing he hasn't seen himself. I proceeded to show him the Red Bull guy literally land on earth from space and it was round, and he still didn't believe it because it wasn't it. He also couldn't explain why nobody had ever fallen off the edge of our flat earth, since if it is flat it clearly has to end somewhere. He just said, I don't know, I just know it isn't round. I lost my fucking mind. Has he seen his brain? My cousin was not the sharpest tool in the shed. He was convinced he could have unprotected sex with any women as his current girlfriend was pregnant, so there was no risk he could get another girl pregnant. Tangentially related, I once talked to a woman who believed every man was born with the number of children they could have. In her understanding, each testicle would become a child. Today I'm sorry I didn't dig deeper and question her about masturbation, about people with dozens of children, and things like that. Well, I think she's onto something, because men who are born with no testicles always have 0 children. Math checks out, I'm convinced. /S. I have 1 testicle and 1 child, so she's definitely right. A nurse I used to work with asked why we can't drive to Hawaii. She was absolutely serious, and I wasn't surprised when she didn't last beyond her training period. How did she make it through nursing school? I'm afraid. Because unfortunately in a lot of areas, nurses are so underpaid and so overworked and so short-staffed that only gross negligence might prevent you getting through. This is the encouragement I needed to go back to school. Let me tell you, I know a lot of stupid nurses. Teachers, too. Some of the people I went to school with that are one or the other now. It honestly amazes me. I once had a coworker who genuinely believed that microwaving a phone could charge its battery. Needless to say, we didn't let him near any electronics after that. Did you know that Slipknot wear masks because they're wanted criminals? And #X200B. Now imagine me wasting 15 minutes of my life trying to explain that if they were wanted criminals, they'd just arrest them on stage. Corey Taylor from Iowa is a great incognito fake identity. I hear he was a world before he was a man. That he was a creature before he could stand. Sounds pretty hard to locate. But how would they find them, lol? That when we were in the Caribbean we were seeing a different moon. Their moon. I'm living in the Caribbean. Went out to look at the moon after reading this. It's such a clever duplicate, I never would have known. That's no moon. It's a space station. I have a bad feeling about this. I've lived in the Caribbean and in the USA, and yeah, of course it's the same moon. But the difference in latitude does make the patterns on it look weird and sideways when you move up and down the globe. I once met a guy who was convinced that he had discovered a new planet called Selfieland. Guess we're all astronauts now. Putting in a roundabout was stupid because now they had to stop 4 times instead of 1 if they had just left it a 4-way stop. We recently got a few in my town. People treat them like stop signs, and come to a, somewhat, complete stop before entering. If it's clear, I just breeze through without stopping like you're supposed to. I've had passengers tell me I ran the stop sign. It's a yield sign. I slow down and have to stay alert because the dumb asses that should be yielding to me on the right/next entrance will not slow down and pull out right in front of me not giving a fuck. So many times there would have been an accident had I not hit the brakes. I wouldn't mind crashing into them, but really don't want to bother with that mess even if I've got the right of way. I really like roundabouts late at night as there's usually no traffic and I can ride on through. If there is another driver I'll see their lights. I met a guy who thought using a Ferris wheel as a treadmill would revolutionize exercise. Talk about taking running on a hamster wheel to a whole new level. My ex-husband was a horrible driver. Wrecked everything he ever owned and then some, but he somehow thought he was an excellent driver. We were riding through a town with a 4-lane main road. He started to change lanes oblivious to the car that was located exactly where he was headed. I told him to stay in his lane, and fortunately, he did. He said, 100% seriously, that if he'd changed lanes and crashed into the car that was already there, it would have been their fault because they didn't honk their horn to warn him. He needs his license taken away. Wow, there's a lot of idiots on the road. Drives like an idiot. I overheard a guy talking to someone at the bus but sadly I could not hear it all. The government is secretly burying people's corpses to prevent earthquakes. I mean that's nice of the government to buy burial plots for families instead of having to make the inevitable purchase yourself or other family members doing so. As long as they wait until I'm done using my body. Oh, sorry. You didn't seem to be doing much, I thought you were done. My mom said the craziest thing I have ever heard a person say in real life. She was driving me and herself to her place of work so I could spend the day helping. I don't even remember what led up to it, but she told me she thought it was the government's job to round up gay people and give them the choice to either convert to Christianity or die. It was, to this day, the most shocking thing I've ever heard someone say in seriousness. All I can do is laugh at this. I would love to know how she thinks this works logistically. Well, there was an angry German guy who tried around 80 years ago. Austrian. Why do they call one side of the sun the moon? This 30 years old legitimately thought the moon was just the other side of the sun. But you can see them both at the same time. That's just a reflection in the dome. Duh. It's amazing how many people are unaware of this. Just look up. I never wear a seatbelt. Why the hell not? Because if I am in a wreck, there's no way I'd be thrown to safety. I had a friend with a similar theory. She didn't wear them because she had heard stories of people wearing seatbelts ending up with serious head injuries in car accidents. She honestly couldn't grasp what the results would be without them. You hear the same bullshit about motorcycle helmets. I don't wear one because the injury rates are higher. It's technically true but only because skull smashed into chunky red paste isn't counted as an injury. Skull smashed into chunky red paste. I think the term is meat crayon. Frown. This weekend my 75-year-old neighbor told me with absolute certainty that women are allowed to get an abortion up to 2 weeks after the baby is born. Gynecology nurse. I have a list of these. Tangentially related, but a brief glimpse I got at the weariness of interacting with the general public on reproductive matters. I was being referred for an elective hysterectomy, filling out the consent forms and all that. There was a signature needed for one part alone. I understand that hysterectomy will result in permanent and irreversible infertility. This being a major reason for wanting it, I said no shit but also that I get why I have to explicitly agree to that statement, though I wonder why it's so necessary when you have to go through years of consultations to get to this stage. You'd be surprised was the doc's reply, he sounded very tired. So, apparently my neighbor's level of certainty about abortion timelines rivals the conviction of my dog who thinks he can catch his own tail.